How's it going, legends? I'm Ryan Williams, this is Andy Buckworth, and we are on the bus presented by Monster Energy, and we're going to check out some of the OG clips from back in the day.
So we've got Andy Buckworth, he was talking it up like he's all out in a packet of Tim Tams and claiming the double fronty, but reckons he's not going to do it. So, got here, told him I'll give him $100 cash. There it is, 2 pineapples, if he goes and does it right now. Alright, Buckworth, let's see it!
Whee! It.
That's just a front flip twice. That's all it is. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Snap as hard as you can, hold on for the ride. Feels really good, but at the moment, not doing it in the show, but it's just good to get the practice in. Everything has its price, and something that only 2 people in the world are doing, it's definitely got its price.
That was the first time you ever did the double fronty, like, on that ramp, or when was that? When was this?
So this was around April 2010. This was the day before the first ever Nitro Circus show ever.
Mm-hmm.
Just like with you, the double fronty was kind of like a turning point in your career. Same was for me. I was given the opportunity to fly out to California and try out, I guess. Try Nitro Circus. We were just doing ramp testing at the time, and there was a foam pit next to our setup, but it wasn't for BMX, it was just a motorbike setup. And they had one of the motorbike ramps kind of set up, pointed towards us, just accidentally. So I was dropping in on the roll-in, pedaling down, dropping off the side of the BMX roll-in, pedaling across the grass and going up the moto kicker and trying to see if I could get 2 front flips around foam pit. I was getting about 1.5 to my head. But I knew that the setup was far from perfect, and I just thought, you know, well, I'll just try it on the landing. I'll just try it on the actual ramp. The ramp was set up about 32 feet. I came in, snapped as hard as I could, and third time's a charm, I actually landed it, and it was unbelievable. It was crazy that I landed it. So fast forward to April, I wasn't actually doing it on the tour. I wasn't doing it in the show. The promoter wanted it, but there was some contract stuff going on. But Bilko just wanted to see it. He didn't believe that I could just do it. I didn't believe I could just do it. But he said 2 pineapples, and in Australia, the $50 bill is pineapple color, and to 2 pineapples, $100. He was like, let's see it. Have you got it? And I mean, it's Bilko. I looked up to that guy so much, and the ramp was set up at 40, so different distance. We're in a different country. It's been probably 6 months since I'd done one, and I was young and just thought I'd send it. Fortunately landed it, and then fast forward 15 years later, I do it in every show.
So technically, Bilko is a better negotiator than Nitro Circus because he got you to do it for $100. And I'm assuming you didn't do it for $100 in the show, but...
Definitely not. But back then for Bilko, I would have done just about anything.
He makes that look way too freaking easy.
Dude, he had more. He could have spun that harder. Holy crap, that guy can spin a double.
Again, so I did the first one on 32 feet. The next one was at 40 feet, but the contract stipulation said that I had to do it on the 50 foot, which was a different lip, longer distance, and I didn't even get to practice it. It went straight into the show. I hadn't done it. So middle of the first show, big air section.
You went deep, kinda.
Yeah. But I just thought, hey, let's send it. There's 15,000 people in the crowd, and you know, first
that was balls. You let us perfect.
I'm glad I did, because you know I had a long tour ahead of me, and I'm so grateful for these last 15 years. And if that went differently, who knows where I would have ended up.
Also, that clip, you could see everyone sitting out the back, like watching the show from behind. And there was guys like Travis Pastrana, Street Bike Tommy. Like, how was that?
Dude, being on tour with Travis for the first time, that's obviously part of the motivation to just be sending stuff like double front flips back then on all different ramps with no practice. But back then, part of the show, the promoter wanted everyone backstage.
Yeah.
It was very strict. They wanted the show to go a certain way. Now we call it muppeting. Everyone's out there, camaraderie, hyping each other up, and high fives and hugs all around. And the show and the crowd thrives on that. But back then, you'd have to sit backstage and watch on this little TV monitor. But when I landed that, and the crowd erupted, and then going backstage and having Travis and having Dusty and having Streetbike Tommy and Jolene and all the original cast from the TV show just being so hyped and so stoked for you, there's no better feeling in the world.
Scoots! Andy hopped on Scoot's scooter. He's like, oh, I can backflip that. It's not hard, like kind of knocking his sport. The second try, he backflips it, and he's like, these things are easy. He's still talking smack. He's like, I bet I can front flip it. Front flips it perfect first try, and then Scoots is just like, oh no.
He actually impressed me. He's not too bad on a scooter.
That was crazy.
I shouldn't have shaved my mustache off. That's old Scoots. But so, how did this come about? Like, obviously, why are you on a scooter in practice? Because you don't want to hurt yourself before a show. So it's like, you need to have a good reason to jump on a scooter.
So during the first tour, the gag part of the show was rollerblades and scooters. And the announcer would actually almost make fun of the scooter section. Like,
oh, I don't remember that at all.
And they're like, get off the ramp. It's time to do more BMX.
Yeah.
But so Scoots was on tour. They were announcing him as the world's best scooter rider.
Yeah.
Being from Australia, I knew about people like you. I knew about, the kids that I would ride the local skate park with that are doing backflips, front flips, 720s. They were doing pretty wild stuff back then. So when Scoots was like, oh, I'm the best in the world, there was a little bit of banter there, just tour bus banter where I was like, I don't think you are, mate. And then they would hype up the backflip on the scooter in the show like it was the world's best thing. And I knew that people like you existed, so I was like, mate, I don't think it's that hard. And he was like, well, if you flip my scooter, I'll flip your BMX bike.
Yeah.
And I just said, righto, let's have a go. And then I flipped it and fronted it, and the deal was secured. He saw me do that, and he followed it up. He did flip my bike.
Yeah! Okay, they just need to switch sports. They need to switch sports. Scoots is better on a bicycle, and Andy is better on a scooter.
He landed it, I landed it, and beyond then, it was just all love, and it was just tour banter, and I think it just brought everyone closer together, that's what tour is about.
You just jump on my scooter, maybe try something, a 1080 franny or something.
I don't think I'll be doing anything like that. I think my scooter days are over. We'll stick to the BMX bike.
Fair.
We are bringing Nitro Circus back down under. It's gonna be one show.
Try and do some variations in my double front flip.
Bob Burnquist just flew up the side of the ramp and kicked Andy Buckworth in the side of the head while he was doing an interview, also taking out about 4 other people.
Has a freeze frame on it. That's gnarly. That's crazy. But not that part, but having Bob Burnquist, and then I don't know, why is Crumb naked?
Well, typical Nitro fashion, there's too many cooks in the kitchen. I was doing an interview, the ramp was not supposed to be open, but Crumb takes his shirt off, jumps on a trike. They were going to jump Burnquist on one side, Crumb on the other.
Yeah.
And I'm mid-interview.
Yeah.
No one's supposed to be jumping. And then next thing I know, I'm just on the ground.
Yeah.
With a headache. I don't know what happened. Good thing there was a video, because I don't remember anything of that. I was definitely concussed. Definitely got kicked in the head hard enough to knock me out.
Yeah.
And when I looked around, it was just chaos. There was cameras on the ground, cameramen on the ground. I was dazed and confused. But that's Nitro Circus.
Do you remember what they were interviewing you about?
Yeah, so we were going into the first ever Vegas show at the MGM Grand. And the show skit was how many world firsts can we do in one night? So we were out there testing what world first were going to work, and I think I was trying to learn the double front flip Superman.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's why we were there, and I did end up doing the double front flip Superman in Vegas, but the interview didn't go as well as the trick.
Yeah, right. Oh, I was on tour for this, I'm pretty sure. You say you just can't feel your legs.
Yeah, it's so scary. This was real scary.
Buckworth came in hot and went for a double fronty no-hander to get it kind of dialed in and under-rotated a bit. Landed on his back pretty hard, so he's hurting pretty good, so they're trying to figure it out right now. I've done something similar, not this bad ever, but it's just like compressed real bad.
Damn. See, people are like, oh yeah, it's resi, won't hurt you, but obviously you can see there, if you fall wrong, it can really hurt you. But yeah, I think I was on that tour, and that was like the very start of tour, right? What happened there?
Yeah, so we just landed in Sweden. We'd had about 4 or 5 months off. So we had a new landing, and we had new plastic, and the plastic was super shiny. Got to the top of the ramp, and Chad Kagi was like, I think I'm gonna double flip first round. And I was like, first run? And he goes, what do you got? Or something. And I was like, I'll do a double front flip no-hander. And he kind of, there was a bit of banter, a bit of a bet going on. And so when I came around on the double front flip, instead of seeing the landing, it was so shiny. I could just see my reflection, and I couldn't really spot the landing. And I sat in the back tire. It shot me over the handlebars. I compressed something in my neck and my lower back. Turns out I actually tore the dura, which is the protective fluid around your spinal cord, and that just caused so many problems throughout the rest of the tour. I wasn't actually able to ride until the final 2 shows at the end, which, finding out later the severity of the injury, I shouldn't have ridden. But you live and learn. I think next time, well, I think every tour beyond that, I just warmed up before doing silly things like that. But yeah, that was definitely a turning point. I was off the bike for quite a while, other than those 2 shows that I tried to ride, but lesson learned.
Give the people what they want. Here we go. Your mom's beach cruiser, the flat, the jump.
Oi! Ollie flip.
What just happened?
You smack your face as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
The show is scripted. It is not. I don't
Looks like I'm going for like a Shaolin backflip.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say my mate Harley does that trick, but not on a beach cruiser. Oh, hey, face plant. Oh, look at the bounce on him.
The most decorated medalist we have right now, smashing his face on the landing. Make some noise for Andy Buckworth. What a man. What a star. X Games.
This is later on that night.
This is later on that night.
Oh, you
Same show.
You got blood on your shirt.
Yeah, I think I must have had a bleeding nose.
Stomped it, mate. First of all, why are you on a beach cruiser? Go.
So, go. Nitro Circus is not just, obviously, BMX, skate, scooter, motocross. We have our contraptions segment. Yeah. And I actually get a bit of a kick out of flipping the beach cruiser. But on this tour, the beach cruiser showed up, and I had a coaster brake, so you had to be pretty careful not to engage the coaster brake going down the roll-in.
So coaster brake's like on the really old bikes where if you pedal backwards, it was like a brake.
It engages the brake. So going down the roll-in through the transition, as I pumped, it was inevitable. You were going to engage the coaster brake. So I engaged the coaster brake and started to lose all my speed.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to make the distance, but at that point, there's no bailout.
Yeah.
You have to at least try to make it to the landing. So I flip, and I know I'm not going to make it. I bail out, and I just make the back of the landing, and it was inevitable. I just face first at the back of the landing, got a bleeding nose. My head was fine. I was fine. I was just a little bit confused on why that happened, and later on that tour, we switched out the wheel and put the freewheel wheel on there, but I was so frustrated that mistake happened, or that had happened, that I wanted to reset the vibe, reset the mood, give my adrenaline a little bit of a spike again, and just feel better about the show. So the next segment after contraptions was BMX Big Air. Blood on my shirt, people in the crowd, they wanted to see it, so just got my redemption with a triple flip.
Again, but right now, watch this. Andy Buckworth and J2.
Oh, it's long on. It was last year, right?
That was last year, yeah.
Back to back, both in the air, mate. Let's go.
That's rad.
That's sick.
This was a really fun show. Absolutely, it was really cool.
My first question is, like, when was actually the first time you ever did a triple backflip?
I can't remember the year exactly.
Yeah.
But I remember we did testing out in Paris, California. We had a big flat bag airbag, and then we had the airbag landing. And not long after that, we flew to New Zealand. And the first show was rainy. And it was a bit of a buzzkill. We really needed something to, hype up the crowd. And I thought, I've done this triple flip out in Paris, California. I was like, look, let's just get the crowd on their feet. Let's just, change the mood here a little bit. Stomped the triple flip there. It became a bit of a staple, and on that tour, Tui and I were kind of like switching off. I'd do a couple in shows, and then he'd do a couple of the shows, and then I'd do it, and we were kind of switching off back and forth on who got to do the triple flip in that show. And then you fast forward many years later, we're still kind of doing stuff like that, where if he's tripling, I'll do something different. If I'm tripling, he'll do something different. But Anaheim, last show of the tour, we both wanted to triple. It's pretty close to where I live now. Huge crowd. We want to end the tour with a bang. And Tui comes up with this idea of, how about we triple side by side? And I was like, mate, I feel like we should just practice this. But we're already in the show. So he's like, all right, we won't do it side by side, but I'm chasing you down. I'm going to come down right behind you. And the plan was to be even closer than that. And we were both pretty comfortable with the train or being closer than that. But I guess I just take off with a little bit more speed, and then he gains a little bit more speed in the air. So the clip was unreal. We're at different parts of each different flip. It just really made for a really cool clip. But there's no backing out at that point. You don't want to be the one that crashes when your classmate's chasing you down the roller. You don't want to be the one that messes it up. So high pressure situation, huge crowd. I had a lot of friends in the crowd, and stomping that with Jay, someone that I've grown up with and ridden with my whole life, stomping that with him, dude, that's gonna live with me for probably the rest of my life.
Until you do the side by side.
Until we do the side by side.
Alrighty, mate, that's a wrap on the clips. I really enjoyed that. It was cool going back in time. Seeing you younger than me, that was a trip. But what's next for the future of Andy Buckworth?
I love the BMX Triple Challenge. I love competing. I love the camaraderie of BMX. I love going to X Games. That whole week is such an incredible week for me. But most of all, touring with you guys, times on the bus when you wake up and you're just making breakfast together and hanging out together, and just the morning talks and sitting in the change room and battling the adversity of tour together. Like, that's what I live for. I'm looking forward to more Nitro Circus tours, looking forward to more Triple Challenges and more X Games. I just want to keep riding. I wish I could go back in time and have a young body again and just do it all again. This BMX life, this career has been, I wouldn't want it any other way. This has been the greatest. And hanging out with people like you and watching you change the sport and reliving every moment, dude, this is nostalgia. This is amazing. And I just want to keep riding forever.
Well, let's keep doing it.
Let's do it.